Good evening, everyone, and welcome to MarketWatch 360. It's been quite a while, and I miss you guys and miss everybody joining us tonight. But you won't regret because we are having an amazing guest tonight. And Stacee, she's from Dragonfly Design, and she's gonna share a lot of her stories with you and how she made a success during pandemic in her business. And I can't wait to talk with her and to share more of her secrets with everybody here tonight. Welcome to the show, Stacee. How are you today?
Hey everyone, wonderful. It's so wonderful to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
To start with, Stacee, would you like to share a little bit more about your background and how you started your business?
Yeah, I hey everyone, Stacee Gillelen, grew up in South San Francisco and still running my business in this peninsula. I grew up in a family of artists, and I think that had a lot of influence on what I ended up doing when I started my own business. But prior to that, I was a bank manager. Um, I worked for Bank of America for 17 years. Never thought I'd be an entrepreneur, but somehow my personality, I think it just kind of, you know, I'm one of those people that can't just do something small. I have to just pour all my heart and soul into it. So I started a hobby of jewelry making, and within a year, I was selling jewelry wholesale, and then from there, started started this business that now has become an art education business. So we started off with after school enrichment programs for children, just originally with jewelry making only, and then it's grown now to include all sorts of arts. So after school enrichment programs, summer camps, birthday parties. That was the origin of Dragonfly Designs prior to the pandemic.
Wow, that's amazing. So just curious, um, how did you make up the mind and took the leap of faith and start your business after 17 years working in corporate America?
Yeah, it wasn't even intentional. It was sort of that I fell in love with the art of jewelry making. I have 4 children, and, at one point, after my second daughter was born, I stepped away from that career and started, raising my children. I was going back to school because, again, can't sit still, going back to school to do social work, and at that time, I fell in love with jewelry making, and I've tried a lot of different art and over the years, and that was the one thing I just couldn't stop. It was an absolute passion, and so from that passion, I just started small, just having friends, purchase the jewelry that I made and so forth. And it just kept growing little by little until, it became what it is now, which is, a company that supports, so I don't know, 25 to 30 people on any given day. And we support artists, and just, it's just blossomed into a much bigger company than I could have imagined when I took those very first baby steps.
Wow. So passion is the key, and passion is the critical element that keeps you going.
Yes.
So how many years have you been doing this jewelry business?
Yeah. Um, so just to be clear, we really did our business was in the beginning, it was a jewelry business for sure. But over the years, we've really incorporated all types of art, and we now would refer to ourselves as an art education business. In February of 2022, we will be in business for 17 years. So a long time.
Wow, 17 years. So 17
Yeah.
years in corporate America and 17
Yes.
years doing your own business. Wow, this is amazing. I mean, I believe that if it's not passion, it's really hard to, sustain a business in 17 years, right?
Yes. Lots
Oh,
of ups and downs during that time, right?
So you are definitely the right person to talk about corporate life and on your business life, right? So, and both are 17 years. Both, one was amazing, one has been amazing, and both are amazing. So after experience the both, lives, and then so tell us, and which one um, would you suggest to your 18-year-old yourself?
Well, I really think that all the years of experience I had working at Bank of America, I mean, honestly, I started as a teller in high school and I worked my way up to be a VP and bank manager. And I think all of the experience I gained in corporate America gave me the skills I needed as an entrepreneur. And I don't think I could have done it otherwise, personally. Um, yeah, I don't know. Interestingly, as a very young child, I also was very entrepreneurial. I was the kid who was out on the street corner selling flowers and lemonade and things like that, and always kind of had my own little businesses through things like that growing up as well. So maybe I kind of had the entrepreneurial spirit, but again, I wasn't even trying to open up a business when I did it. It just kind of just progressed baby steps after baby steps, again, following a passion.
That's great. I think that, like you said, the spirit is in you, right?
Yes.
Well, but you have a very like unique experience. Not many people are like fortunate enough to experience the both worlds, right?
Yeah,
And
true.
you made it, and both are successful. I think you are very equipped to share a lot of life and professional wisdoms with us tonight.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes. A lot of lessons learned the hard way, I guess.
I know exactly. Just like what we talked like before this show, right? We had a little chat, and I was like,
Yes,
I have been going through hard season in my life, but I learned a
yes.
lot, right?
You
And
learn a
all the
lot.
good, yeah, and all the good lessons you
Yeah,
learn, or believe it or not, all the good lessons that you learn in the hard way.
absolutely. That's when you're most vulnerable and open to change and learning, and it's served me well, but it's not always easy at the moment, right?
Yeah, talking about the hard time and the hard seasons, we all know that in the past couple years, and a lot of business have been suffering, in pandemic.
Yeah.
I cannot say that we're in post pandemic. I would just say we're still in pandemic. We're still,
Mhm.
going through it.
Right,
It's never easy to anyone, right?
right.
So how has pandemic impacted your business? And how did
Yeah,
you pivot?
yeah. So, um So as I was explaining, my business was all in person. We were right in, that when the shutdown happened, I think it was mid-March. And in my business, we had already collected payments for summer camps. We always have an early bird special, and parents had just paid us in February for summer camps we were supposed to run that summer. We were right in the middle of teaching after school programs. We had, parents had even paid us for birthday parties, things like this. So we were an all in person small business that overnight we had no more business. It just was done. And I have to say, I'm proud to say that with the support of my amazing team, we were able to, in 3 weeks, convert everything that we were teaching in person into an online curriculum. And we even became a shipping company overnight. I have a studio space in my home that is where we store many art materials. So because of that lucky fact, I was able to put curriculum art kits together and ship those out to all the students who we were able to just continue teaching our after school programs virtually. So within 3 weeks, we had trained our staff, our teachers, to be teaching over Zoom. They had materials kits in hand, and we continued on teaching our after school enrichment programs And we were preparing for doing the same thing for summer, to continue to do a virtual summer camp, so that the people who were counting on us still had something to, occupy their children who were now stuck at home. For us as artists, it's very important that the children or the participants in our programs are able to all have the same materials. Otherwise, as you can imagine, if children are just sort of trying to work with whatever they have at home, they're all going to have different things, and it's very challenging to teach a lesson that way, because the teachers are trying to make do with what every child has on hand, instead of all having the same materials and concentrating on the lesson itself. So that ability for us to be able to ship out those art materials kits and a curriculum that went along with that, it was key. And it was, again, it was very, very challenging and exhausting, but we made it work, and we just jumped right into action and made that happen. Over time, that changed. Throughout the pandemic, there was spikes and there was different mindset shifts. As normally, in fall, we would be after our virtual summer camps, that would be a big season to start after school programs again. We thought we may be able to continue doing virtual after school programs. But at that point, because of another spike in COVID and parents not knowing if their children could go back to school or not, they didn't know what their after school schedules were going to be. And therefore, that part of our business really slowed down. And that gave us an opportunity to really work with, so the big part of our business that has grown and blossomed throughout this pandemic is doing virtual corporate team building events. So we've actually shifted, as you all know, throughout the pandemic, a lot of people moved out of the Bay Area, maybe to live in a less expensive part of the country, or so teams now for corporate America are spread across the country, and they've always been spread across the country and the world. Now we had a way of bringing teams together in this joint experience over Zoom, and I think it kind of propelled us into the future, 5 years or so, where this became normal to be doing business over Zoom, and even having these fun events over Zoom. So there's a lot of companies out there that hire companies like mine to do the actual events. And of course, people can come to us directly to organize those as well. But that was a big part of what we shifted to after school with children. Parents were just a little less interested in having their kids on Zoom. We moved over to the adults. So lots of pivoting throughout the pandemic.
But there is always something in common, because I have been interviewing a lot of business owners all across the Bay Area, and some of them have been like not just pivoting their business, but also like you, they have been getting their business thrilled, like during pandemic. Something in common is that they all mentioned just making immediate actions, right?
Yes.
Just jump into actions and do whatever you can. Just don't stop and do whatever you can, because you're not the only one. And if you want to keep business going, and then you have to figure it out. And I think that's one of the important features of business owners, that you are always problem solvers, and you're always the solution, right?
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I think you don't have, you have to just think about, where's your mindset? What are you feeling? So, then you can connect to your clients and what they're feeling and what their needs are. And we were doing that throughout the pandemic. We had to just keep shifting to where people's mindsets were, and how we could serve our clients and meet them where they were at. And that never stopped. I mean, it was, at least a year and a half of kind of pivoting, but we did take some time to just kind of step back and say, okay, what's our permanent pivot when things seem to stabilize a bit? And that's helped us as well, kind of.
That's great. So I kind of so now since you already answered my number 4 question.
Oh, sorry.
You already answered those, immediate changes in your business, which which was great. And then, um, so did you make any mistake that you wish you wouldn't make during pandemic?
During the pandemic,
Mhm. If you like, hopefully not, but if you like, if you are going to experience this again, is there anything that you can do differently?
um, I am really proud of how we handle things. I think, um, specific to the pandemic, I really do feel like we did a pretty darn good job based on what we were working with.
Mhm.
I do think some of the advice, though, that is always helpful for me is to hire slow and fire fast. I think somebody, I read one time, if you hire somebody and they're not a hell yes, then they're a hell no. And I think sometimes you can make, if you're going to make mistakes, sometimes it's around hiring putting the right person in the right job on your team. Um, and sometimes it can slow you down or get you off track or throw a monkey wrench into the forward progress if you don't have the right people on your team. So, maybe there's been a couple of those, but I think other than that, we feel pretty good about the rapid changes and still maintaining, really high levels of customer service. We've stayed at 5 stars throughout this entire time. So that feels
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it sounds like, yeah, and I think that you have been doing great, and especially utilizing the technology like Zoom and different
Yeah.
online marketing strategies, and to reach out and to continue communicating and nurturing the relationship with your existing clients, right?
Yes, yes, Zoom has been a big one. I think we had a bit of an advantage on that because my second in command in the company is actually not here in the Bay Area. So we were already running the back end of the business with my integrator, my operations manager who's based in Iowa. So we already were used to the platform, and that was at least one little hurdle we didn't have to learn. We were already,
Mhm.
having meetings and things, and that probably helped a lot too, I have to say.
Mhm. So you always have to be like, as a business, owner, as the one who is running the business, you always have to be like proactive, right? And
Yeah,
no
very.
one, yeah, no one can predict that pandemic is gonna impact our life in such a, in such a deep level.
Yes,
But people who have been doing business, differently, and who have been doing business online and on site, and then they, they don't have to learn the experience from scratch.
right.
That's probably the reason that you and your team can, move all the business online on Zoom like over 3 weeks, right? And not,
Yes,
as far as I know, I talked to a lot of business owners, and they cannot even like pivot online in 3 months, because they don't know,
yeah,
they just don't know how, they have no clue, because they are
right.
really relying on um, walking in clients.
Right, yeah. I can imagine how challenging that would be. It
Mhm.
allowed us too to hire across the country and the world. We have artists that work for us now all across the country and world, and again, it felt comfortable because we were already hiring other people that support our business and having Zoom meetings and things. So, that was a hurdle we didn't have to cross all at once. Yeah,
So
so
what are the ways that you think will serve your customers better, and more connections with them in the future? Like, I know that you and your team have been doing great jobs, and you have social media presence, and also
yes,
you have beautiful website. And just for those of you who are watching us, just so you know that you can always check out Stace's website, and her social media. Follow her on social media. Follow her business page on social media. And I actually checked all of them, and they look great, and they're all beautifully made. So other than that, what are the other like ways that you reach out your clients and
to our clients.
continuing um, communicating with them?
Yeah. Well, I do believe that teams will stay work. Many people want to work remote. I think that's very obvious. And so it's wonderful for us to be able to connect to connect teams all over the world and connect them to creativity. That's really what our whole mission is. So that part is wonderful. We really have fun, meeting all these people and being part of that connection and their in their lives. Um, we are doing back in person for our children's programs right now, but I think one of the ways that we are permanently pivoting is to offer DIY kits of all of our wonderful art programs, and these are really beautiful Dragonfly original kits made by our artists, and our artists are they are master artists. They have their advanced degrees in the arts, and so they specialize in different genres. As an example, weaving kits with these beautiful materials sourced from artisans in Peru, things like this. So these kits will be able to be taught live by our teachers, and eventually we hope to have some sort of subscription box and membership where you'll get a craft in the mail, and that will be part of this community of other creatives learning how to do these crafts, whether it's for fun or for just relaxation and connecting to creativity. We are building that out for our clients because we see a need for it. And now we can reach so many more people. So we're very excited about what's to come as far as that goes.
Sounds exciting. Sounds very, very exciting. So what are the online? I know that you, even though you're so humble about your marketing, but I still gonna try to dig out some of your secrets
Okay.
and share with the community. So, what are the online assets or marketing strategies that you have been using to, help your business pivot during pandemic and in this new era?
Yeah. I think you have to just pick the things that work in your own business, right? And because we're an art education business, we're very visual. It's very beautiful materials and art projects and things like that. So find the thing that works for your business. I think for us, Pinterest is a good one. We're just, right now we have a minute to breathe, and we're developing these new DIY kits that we're really going to be pushing on our Etsy store, just because that broadens our market. We're getting out in front of people who may not have known us. And then, we do post on Instagram and Facebook. I think our clientele has typically been on Facebook more than Instagram, but we do post there as well. Of course, newsletter, we're always building our email list for that and connecting with our clients and nurturing them in that way. I think those are the main strategies or platforms that we use to market.
Yeah, I agree with you. You need to pick which platform works for your business, and then
Yes.
focus on one platform, not
Yes.
not multiple platforms.
There's
Like
so
for
many things you could do. It's overwhelming.
exactly, and so many social media platforms, right? And I'm
Yes.
a digital marketer, but to be honest, I always encourage my clients and my students and focus on one platform and focus
Yes.
on the most effective one. And I'm so glad
Yes.
that you mentioned about Facebook, because I
Yes.
am definitely, even though there are so many negative comments about Facebook, but like or not, Facebook is the one that can help you generate more revenue, and it's the one that can truly benefit your business, right?
Yes.
And focus. If you just hate Facebook, it's fine. Just do something with it, right? And do
Right.
something with
Right.
it because
Well,
you
use it to reach your ideal clients, right?
exactly just use that to reach out your ideal clients, and
Yes.
you don't have to be a pro and to use Facebook, right? And because a lot of the functions and features are very easy to utilize. And
Yes.
for your business, like you mentioned, it's very visual. So Pinterest is a great one too, right?
Yes.
If
Yes.
somebody is doing, let's say, if somebody is doing some show or some of the other things that you need some video support, then YouTube is a good one, right?
Yes. Yes.
Pick the one that fits your business the best and focus on that one, and not doing multiple things at the same time, because it's going to be so overwhelming, and
Yes.
none of them none of them is gonna work for your business, right?
Yes. I think another one that we utilize is LinkedIn, and that's sort of new for us, but that's because that's where our corporate clients are. So again, thinking about where are your ideal clients, where are they going to be? That's where you want to be, right?
Exactly. Where are your ideal clients, and where do they congregate, right?
Right. Yes.
Exactly. And then talk to them, reach out to them, and market
Mhm.
that platform, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
So what advice do you have for other small business owners? Because since you have been, growing your business, and now you have different strategies,
Yeah.
and for your business, and what kind of like advice do you have for the business owners who are still, suffering, and um, right now I think no one can project how the future is gonna look like, right? And
Right.
but we have to just go one step, yeah, just go one step away, right? So
Yeah.
what advice do you have for all the business owners?
Yeah. I guess I would say really identify the areas where you're not the expert, and hire the best person that you can afford who is smarter than you, who can focus on that one thing and do it well. We were just talking about marketing, right? If my background isn't an expert in Facebook ads, well, if that's an area where you see that there could be potential growth, I would just say to find the expert in that area. And I always really truly try to find somebody who's smarter than me, because, I want to be able to hand that role over, or that responsibility over, to them and let them run with it.
Hmm. Yeah, I think um, that's one of the keys for
Mhm.
business owners and to grow your business.
I
And
think it's hard to let go as a business owner. You
yeah,
have to get to the point, but if you're ever going to grow, you have to let go of everything on your plate, because you're so spread thin in so many areas. If you can get that one person who can focus in a certain area, they end up being able to do the job better than you can, because they're
mhm,
not torn in many different directions.
exactly. And then it's probably going to be more efficient if you can just
Yes.
let it go, right? If you can just
Yes.
let it go and trust the process.
Yes.
So, what are the thoughts you have for the reopening? Right now, I know that you mentioned a little bit
Mhm.
about like your workshops started going in person now, and
That's specifically for children. Again, those were our client base for all these years. We were really mainly working with children. We did do some adult events, but it wasn't to the extent that we are now. And you know, uh, that again, we are where our clients are at, and how can we serve them, and they're asking for those to happen again in person. Um, as I'm so sorry, I think I forgot the question. What am I thinking about how things are gonna be happening moving forward?
yeah,
Um, yeah, I'm excited because I think there's a good balance between being in person and serving clients in person, and what the world that we've created over Zoom. I don't think that's going away either, just because of the reasons we talked about. People want to work remote now, and have that option. And we're just excited to be able to reach more people, and that this has become an easy way to connect, that I think would have not happened, right? It wouldn't have been the norm, and we wouldn't have been able to expand outside of our geographic area in this way if the pandemic hadn't happened. So, yeah, I think
that's the thing
it's
that
been
you're
fun.
most yeah, that's the thing that you're most optimistic about, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I think that's just going to continue to grow. And again, through the membership that we talked about, it's pretty unique. We don't see a lot of, either companies have DIY kits or they have classes, but that whole combination of building a whole community um, around crafting and art and create and connecting to creativity and having that presence where we can just build this audience of people, like-minded people who are looking for that, and not being restricted to just the Bay Area where we're physically located is very exciting for us.
Are you thinking about expand your business in different states, even outside of the country?
Yes, but virtually.
Yeah, of course, virtually, right?
Yes, it's already happened.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yes, yeah,
How
we
many
ship
countries?
we ship all over the world now. So we literally have teams, and our own team is in all time zones. So we're doing time zones all for that accommodate no matter where you are in the world for the corporate
Wow,
events. It's wonderful.
wow, this is really wonderful. Probably um, coming soon, and then you're gonna have different branches in different countries, right? And the
Baby
virtual
steps, yes.
technologies, yeah, since the virtual technologies have been helping a lot, right?
Yes,
And now,
yes.
let's looking back, the worst thing happened to business now turned out to be the best thing, right?
Exactly, yes. It's all mindset, right? You have to
Exactly.
have a positive outlook,
Mindset.
and how can I, you don't have control over things and how they happen, but you can control your actions in them and how you're gonna move forward.
Exactly. So, um, what are the experiences that you learned during this process in the past 2 years? You can share with us, maybe two to three, like things that you learned in the past 2 years. We actually mentioned one. It's the mindset, right? The
It's the
outlook.
mindset. Yeah, it's being agile. It's not making decisions based on fear, but on opportunity, I guess. Look for
Mhm.
the opportunities, and don't be too scared to to try something new. I mean, it's okay to make mistakes and just try until you figure it out. That's what we had to do.
Mhm.
Not nothing, no major mistakes, but, you have to take chances and just put yourself out there, and then you'll find the thing that works. But if you just sit and dwell and worry about it and don't take that next step or any action to move forward, you'll stay stuck in that one spot, and you won't ever progress and figure it out and make the best out of the situation at hand.
Mhm.
So,
How did you catch yourself out when you're like dwelling in a down moment?
mm. I think I sit in that moment, and because to me there's answers there, and I don't run away from the down moments. I try to just appreciate that time. I live long enough now where life's a roller coaster. You're going to have down times and you're going to have up times. And in the down times, I really try to look at the answers come if you're quiet and you let them come. So maybe not that day or the next day, but eventually the right answer is going to come. It's going to feel right, and then you know how to move forward from there.
Mhm. Very good answer. So any um, let's see, anything that you want to share with all the people who are still in this entrepreneurship journey, and any advice for everyone who is fighting for their dreams and who is fighting for their family, for their kids, and any advice for them?
You're making me tear up just thinking about it. I think follow your passion. There's there's an audience out there for you that needs what you have to give to the world. And don't give up. It's not an easy path, but anything worth fighting isn't easy. Worth fighting, you have to fight for your passion, and the hard things are the things that are most worth it. And you'll feel so
Mhm.
proud of your efforts. Just try. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now we're actually transitioning to the new era, right? And
Yeah.
from previous era, now it's like digital era.
Yes.
So what are the most like what are the things that make you most excited in this new era?
Again, I really think, I think the people that we've been able to meet and to serve, that and to hire on our staff, that we never would have met if this hadn't happened. And it's such a beautiful connection, you know. you find your people all over the world now, um, and it solved a problem for us actually. Prior to the pandemic in the Bay Area, I think unemployment was at something like 2%, and it was very hard to find our people, the right people to work in our programs. And now we have the whole world is our oyster. The whole
Yeah,
world, we can hire from all over the world, and it's a wonderful, beautiful thing. And um,
that
yeah,
market is actually extending, right? The market
right,
is
yes,
extending. Like you have more opportunities
more
coming to you,
opportunities, yes,
and your vision is bigger, right? And it's bigger, it's
yeah,
bolder now.
bigger and bolder, absolutely.
I love it. I love it. So coming to the end, any thoughts to our audience tonight? Just maybe one sentence or a couple sentences and to close out tonight.
Oh, gee. Again, I just encourage you to follow your passion, find your niche, find the people that you need to serve in the world, and go out and do it with your full heart. You'll figure it out. Passion drives you to do hard things, and fills you with joy while you're doing it. So, good luck.
Thank you so much, Stacey. And this is such a great opportunity and to get to know you better and to know your story. And I think the world need people like you with passion, with a great heart, and to serve the world. And you inspired me, and you touched my heart so many times tonight. And it's great having this conversation with you. And I can tell that just reflecting on your story, um, it's been something, it's unspeakable, right? And I love it and I enjoyed it, and I believe that our audience tonight enjoyed it as well. And thank you so much, and have a great night. And
Yeah,
thank you everyone for joining us tonight. And it's been quite a while, but we had a great show tonight, so we'll see you guys next week. And Stacey, I'll catch up with you later.
sounds
Yeah,
great. Nancy, thank
we'll
you for
talk with
having me. It's a
you.
pleasure. Bye,
It's our
everyone.
honor.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great evening. Great chat. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye bye.